everyone. We're just waiting a few minutes to make sure everybody gets in before we start. If you'll notice, there's in the chat window, Gabby has put in a link to the slide presentation, so you can refer to it later if you want to download it and take a look. But follow along with the slides today. And I'll be quiet for a minute or two, so we'll wait till about 3 minutes after and ensure everybody has time to get in, and then we'll start the presentation. Okay, so it's 1:03, and I'll let everybody in as they come along. Just a couple of housekeeping things for today. If you keep yourself muted, if you have some questions and you think of them during while Gabby is doing her presentation, just type them in the chat window. We've got left time for a question and answer period at the end of the presentation. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Gabby Mueller from Tourism Oxford. She's going to be doing the presentation on Facebook, our social media, Facebook 101. You're going to get the inside scoop on Facebook and a little touch on videos and all this sort of stuff. So I will turn it over to Gabby now.
Awesome. Thank you so much to Woodstock District Chamber of Commerce and the Oxford Small Business Support Center for having me. And they're putting awesome workshops on all week. So make sure you check out a few of them because there's some really good stuff. So as Kim said, my name is Gabby. I work for Tourism Oxford, and I am the tourism officer there. But really, my main job is content creation, which is basically a fancy way of saying that I run our social media channels, and then I do all the written content and vlogging for our website, as well as a lot of our print material. So I'm really excited because, of course, a huge part of my job is running our Facebook pages for Tourism Oxford and a partnership project called Oxford Fresh. So I don't know about you guys, but Facebook is, I call it the beast because it's always changing. You might learn to do something one day and the next day they have completely changed the platform. And I know that can be really frustrating. So today, what I really want to impart on you guys is a few tips and tricks I've learned over the past 5 or so years that have stayed the course the whole time. So the mechanical back end of it might change, but these kind of content creation tips are fairly evergreen. We will go through a few mechanical things today as this is an introductory course, but just keep that in the back of your mind. You can always look up how to do something, but it's really the meat and potatoes of this presentation that I hope you take away. So kind of the layout for today. Here's what we're going to cover. So basic things that should be on your profile, and Facebook has updated this recently, shocker. So there will be a few new things I hope you take away from that part. We're going to talk about ways to showcase your products or services, content that resonates with people, video, because video is the way of the future and it's the way of the present. And finally, it's not on here, but I am going to talk a little bit about Facebook during a time of COVID. So Facebook, really quickly, why should you be on Facebook? I think it's pretty obvious. Facebook is the biggest social media platform out there. Lots of others have come and gone, but Facebook has really been around the whole time. There's 2.45 billion monthly active users on Facebook. And while millennials are still the largest group on the platform, those over 65 are actually the fastest growing. So you're able to target two very key demographics on there. Now, teenagers, they're actually dropping on Facebook right now, which is interesting, and going to platforms like Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok, which is, if you weren't in yesterday's workshop about Instagram, I encourage you to go check out the slides for that as well. And then while other social media platforms are making strides, Facebook is still the place to be. So what should you be using Facebook for? So unlike Instagram, which is not a great place to come on and talk about your sales, Facebook is still a great platform for informing your audience, talking about your products, and trying to engage them. And I do encourage you, if you have any questions as they pop into your head, pop them into the chat box so that you don't forget, and we'll get to it afterwards. I believe you guys, this is the problem. Oh, okay, sorry. I will post the link to the slides for Instagram afterwards, and I'll mention you can't see me, That's okay. I just don't have a webcam. There's nothing wrong with your computer. Okay, so let's talk about optimizing your business profile and just the basics really quickly. Okay, so first, I want to talk about the imagery, because when people come to your profile, this is the first thing they're going to see. So your profile image is about 170 by 170 pixels, so it's a square. But when people see it, as you can see here on the profile, as well as when it's in their newsfeed, it looks like a circle. And it's small because most people are using Facebook on their phones. So what you should do is something that is very, very clear and representative of your brand, so that it triggers that familiarity and people click on it. So a lot of people have decided to just use a circular version of their logo. And there was a time when I would have said that's really out of date, but it's come back into style. So I encourage you, if that's what's easiest for you to do, just pop a circle version of your logo in there. And then cover image, it's about 820 by 312 pixels, which is basically like a widescreen rectangle. The photo needs to be high res and super clear. So you can use that in a few different ways. You can use it to show what you do. You can change it with the season. So for example, with our Oxford Fresh account, which is all about promoting eating local food, I try to change it to a different super pretty image of whatever food is in season at the time, and change it as the months pass. Or you can do that kind of awesome hero image that really represents the feeling of your brand. I'm going to be using a lot of examples throughout this presentation just to kind of bring some of the ideas to light. And I wanted to point out right away the Social Factory in Woodstock. They're a branding and web design company, and Alyssa, who owns it, she's awesome. And she's done something really cool and kind of broken the mold here with her imagery on her profile. So Alyssa is the face of the brand. So she's used a photo of herself as the profile image, but then very smartly, she's holding up a sign that says the Social Factory. So for people who don't know her yet, they know what company this is, but they're still beginning to associate her with the brand. And then what I love what she's done with her cover image, it's still a nice clean photo, but she's used it as a piece of super valuable real estate and just said like, okay, here are the 4 things I've done. So bing, bang, boom, if you want branding and web design, you can come to Alyssa. Just a really neat thing. You can also do a video there, but just keep in mind, people are going to be listening to it with no sound. Okay. Your about section. So likely if you have a Facebook business page, you've filled out your about section and then possibly forgotten about it since. But I'm going to encourage you to go back in there and try and refresh it every couple of months and just make sure all your details are up to date. Now, one of the most important things I believe that you should do in your about section, and I find a lot of businesses actually forget about, is filling out this username. So it doesn't seem that important because when do you ever actually see it? But that becomes part of your URL. So people can just go to your page, facebook.com/tourismoxford, for example, is ours. So that if we're in any print material, that's a nice, easy URL to be able to supply to people. And it also makes tagging our page a lot easier. And then fill in the best as you can. So your hours absolutely need to be up to date. So keep in mind if you've changed them during COVID, be sure to go in there and take a look. Take the time to describe your business in this section. Write your story and don't just plop it in there. Really think about it and take the time to craft it. Have a friend edit it and make sure that it really represents your brand and how you want people to see you. And then address, phone number, email address, and website. There's nothing more frustrating than going to somebody's about section to see how I can get in touch with them and not being able to find it. So make sure you're taking the time to fill out that. And then I just did want to point out that Facebook has also added a section called COVID-19 FYI, and you can actually just put your protocols for COVID in there. And I guarantee you, Tourism Oxford gets emails every single day from people asking what's open, what are the hours of this place. So they're looking for this kind of information. What are their protocols? Are they requiring masks, things like that. So make sure that you have that filled out, because it makes it a lot easier for someone to come visit you if they know what to expect. Okay, and then the last kind of mechanical thing I want to talk about from a Facebook profile perspective is the Messenger app. And what I'm going to encourage you to do, I know that we're living in a time where people come to Facebook or Instagram and they send you a message and they expect a reply quickly, and basically any time of day. And I don't want to encourage you guys to be tied to your phone. I don't think that's healthy. You do not need to be answering messages 24/7. But one really cool thing you can do that Facebook allows you to do is to go in and set up an instant reply, so that they know the message worked and you'll be back to them soon. So all you have to do that is go to your profile, hit settings, and then messaging, and then set up automated responses and instant reply. And then in here, you can pop up something, just write a little something. So ours says, "Hello, Gabrielle, thank you for messaging us. We try to be as responsive as possible, so we'll get back to you soon. In the meantime, please feel free to visit www.tourismoxford.ca for info on events, trip ideas, and more. Have a wonderful day." So what we've done there is said, "Hey, we got your message. We'll talk soon, but here is a resource." So yours could drive to your website or a frequently asked questions page, anything that might be able to answer their question in the meantime, knowing that you will get back to them hopefully within 24 hours. And there are a few other functions in here worth checking out. You can actually set up responses to common questions. So if you get the questions like "what are your hours?" frequently, you can actually set it up so that Facebook, when it gets that question, it'll answer automatically, and then you don't even have to deal with it. So it's pretty neat, and it's all from that messaging tab. Okay, so what I was really, I think, kind of called to do this presentation for was ways to show businesses locally how to showcase their products and their services on Facebook in really easy to implement ways. So I want to be really clear, Facebook should never replace your website. It's not a replacement for an online store. Everyone should have a landing page where they can go and send people. But yeah, so just keep that in mind. If you're building your online store, though, there are some really great ways that you can showcase your product on Facebook in the meantime. So I'll show you a few examples once the slide goes. There we go. Okay, so help them shop. So Patina's Gifts of Art and Craft in Ingersoll, when COVID kind of hit and they had to shut down for a little bit, they were kind of scrambling to figure out how they could sell their product, as they were in the middle of building an online shop that wasn't ready yet. So they were looking for a way that they could still get their product to people safely while the store was closed. So what they did was they created albums on Facebook, and then they labeled the photographs and allowed people to claim them for purchase. So for example, this album she posted all the scarves that are in the shop. And then she said, to claim it, here's the price. To claim it, describe the scarf to us through an instant message. And then once you've e-transferred us, we'll send you the details for the e-transfer. Once that's done, the scarf is yours and you can come pick it up in the shop, or we do curbside delivery in Ingersoll. So that is one super simple way to get around that kind of waiting time while you're setting up your online shop. Just make sure you're very clear about the rules for claiming a purchase and payment methods that you're accepting. Another cool way to do this, and some shops actually have this kind of thing functioning all the time, is to create a Facebook group dedicated to your customers. So it can either be like an exclusive thing for your mailing list, or it can be something like this one, which is Modern Hipster Antiques in Ingersoll. Before they opened their shop, that he actually started this Facebook group. It's a private group that people request to join. And basically Marty, the owner, posts photos of his antiques that he finds and the price, and people can claim them in the comments below. Or at times he'll do an auction and they can bid, and then he chooses the highest bidder and sets up a pickup. And I'm not going to get a ton into groups today because that's not, I don't think, the route that most people are going to take. But if you have any questions about that, please feel free to reach out to me after this and we can set up a call to chat more about this. I mean, clearly it's working really well for Marty, who has almost 5,000 members in his group. So it's really cool. And this could function also as like a market type event or anything like that. You just have to really kind of think through the mechanics of it is all. And like I said, always, if you can build a website where people can purchase on the spot, put their payment in through a secure way, that's always preferred. And then finally, set up a store. So Facebook does have a function that you can hook up to something like your Shopify store and things like that called Facebook Shops. I am by no means an expert on that, but I have left a link in this slide to help you get set up if that's the route you want to take. I do want to put out like a little bit of a warning because this was reintroduced by Facebook quite recently. And I've gone on to our partners that I know had it set up, and not a single one of them is still using it. And also even some of like the spokespeople that Facebook was promoting, their shops are nowhere to be found. So I think something funky might be kind of going on with that. But if it's something that interests you, being able to make a purchase straight from your Facebook page, absolutely look into it. Okay, so next I want to talk about the type of content that resonates on Facebook versus other social media platforms. So if you were in my workshop yesterday, we talked about what kind of stuff resonates on Instagram, and you will see some overlap here, but you'll also see a few key differences. So I'll just go through a few of those types of posts and some examples. So unlike Instagram, Facebook is a great place to post about your latest sale. It's by no means am I saying that that's all you should post about, because that can get old really quickly for people. But if you're consistent on like a weekly basis or a monthly basis, that can really work. So this is an example. Mountain Oak Cheese, every Thursday, they post about a sale that they're going to have Friday and Saturday. They have a different cheese on sale. They post a photo first thing in the morning, and then they say what the sale is. And they're basically just encouraging you to check back to their Facebook every Thursday, sorry. And also to come into the store, get the cheese that's on sale, and of course, hopefully something else. But the consistency is the key point there. Another thing that goes over really well on Facebook is if you position yourself and your business as an expert in your field, because you are. At least I like to assume all of you business owners out there are well-versed in your field if you're selling a product or service. So this is an example from Beachfield District Museum, and I just will say that inspires a ton of trust. That's what you're trying to do with posts like this. Get people to see that you are the expert in your field. They can trust you when they're purchasing from you or visiting you or using your services. So this example from the Beachfield District Museum does a really good job, and I encourage you to go check out their page because they do this quite often. I won't read the whole thing, but basically the story is they got this photo collection of kind of a local icon, Douglas Carr. He rode his bike around the world in the 1930s. So they have this photo collection and they went about protecting it. So they talk about getting transparent archival sleeves and pH neutral binders, and talking about just all the ways that they can protect those photos going forward from a technical perspective. And really it makes you think about what you could be doing to protect your own photos, and maybe thinking about a visit to the museum. Okay, very much like Instagram with this one. Facebook posts that invite audiences to participate and engage always do really, really well. So ask your audience a question and encourage them to comment. And when I say a question, I don't mean like, are you excited for the weekend? Because everyone is excited for the weekend. It really needs to be something where they feel like they can share some information with you. So Thames River Melon did an awesome job with this summer and fall. So this post is, what vegetable says Thanksgiving more than Brussels sprouts? These little guys are available now on farm in our pick your own veggie patch and at our farmers market and roadside stands. We love tossing them in olive oil, balsamic, salt, and pepper and roasting until they're soft in the middle and crispy on the outside. So first of all, that beginning part has sort of positioned them as an expert on Brussels sprouts, I guess. But this is where the genius kind of comes in. They just said, what's your favorite way to cook these? Comment below and share with us. And they're very, very clear. Comment below. Encourage your users to do that. And then as a result, they've got a bunch of comments about how people like to cook their Brussels sprouts. And this one, where the woman is taking her friend and saying, we can come get some Sunday. So hopefully something like that will translate into a real life visit or sale. Okay. Just like on Instagram, a behind the scenes look is also very popular on Facebook. I love this video. This is just a screenshot, but this is a video that Alstein Farms posted. And they just said heading into the weekend, and then it was a video of all these like baby calves running around their barn. And they just look super excited and happy. And it's so cute. Baby animals always do really well on social media in general, I will say. But this kind of behind the scenes look, I mean, if I visited Alstein Farms, I most likely wouldn't see all these baby cows that are in the barn. So it's just kind of a nice way to lend some authenticity to your account and get people to kind of invest and feel the warm and fuzzies about your business. Okay. And then, of course, what to post what's new. People want to know and are looking for the latest, coolest, and most up-to-date info. So you need to keep giving them reasons to come into your store or browse online. And that is especially important right now because we will get into this later, but people are not just coming into stores willy-nilly and taking their time looking around as much as they used to, just because they don't feel safe doing that. So if you can give them a reason to come in or show them a new product that they can seek out right away, that's a great idea. So Scotch and Lace, they have these super cool jackets that come out every year. And as soon as they came in the door, they threw one on a mannequin, styled it up so people could envision what they could wear it with. And then they said, these are here, open till 4, and people come in and check it out. Okay. I know I said post stuff that gives a behind the scene look, but I did want to also say that behind the scenes look should be authentic. I think way too often on all social media platforms, brands really try to portray like a very perfect, shiny image, and that can be great at first, but after a while, that really starts to get old. That can start to rub your client base the right way if everything is always rainbow and sunshines. And it is a big problem just in general, can affect mental health of people. I won't get into that, but all that to say, don't be afraid to kind of show some of the stuff that goes wrong at your business. I'm not saying you have to post all your juiciest details of your life, but just it doesn't always have to be awesome things. It can be things you tried and it didn't work out. So Berrylicious Fruit Farm, I definitely encourage you to go check out their page. It's really nice. And this summer they had some netting go down and a bunch of poles go down on their blueberry patch, which if you know anything about blueberry farming, it's a huge deal to get those nets up in the first place. But they posted about it. They said, last night's storm hit our farm hard and sent us a humbling reminder that Mother Nature is always in charge. Fortunately, no one was hurt and the berries are still intact. And they go on about it and their plans for putting it back up or persevering without the netting. And they got a ton of just really supportive comments and engagement on that post. So don't be afraid to do that once in a while. So just to sum up there, posting best practices, engage your audience, position yourself as an expert, show what's new, and then every time you go to post, question yourself, ask yourself, okay, what value am I providing my audience or what am I informing them of? Do they want to hear about it? Is it a good idea? Is it going to help my business move forward? That's just kind of a personal check-in with yourself you can do. Okay, let's talk video, which is probably one of my favorite things to talk about on Facebook because it really is the way of the future. And honestly, it's the way of the present. It's the way Facebook is right now. Video is here to stay for a while, I would say. So on average, Facebook videos get 59% more engagement than just a photo. So if you're not doing video already, it's not too late, but think about implementing it because it's not really a question of whether you should be doing it or not. You should definitely be doing it. And I will show you how and who should do it and all kinds of stuff like that. Okay, so posting a video is a lot like posting a photo, but then there's just some forms you have to kind of go through and fill out as you go. So just like you were going to go do a regular post, you'll bring up this create a post tab just from your profile, start typing in. But before you actually type anything, just hit this little picture square. It's the green sticker right there with the mountains on it. Hit that, the same thing you would to add a photo. And then it'll give you the option to upload a video from your computer. So you would click the video, and doesn't have to be anything fancy. You can do it all right on your phone. I get that question all the time, but you do not need any fancy equipment. So upload the file, and then it'll bring up this screen. Okay, so you're gonna think of kind of a catchy title, but a title that still tells people what the video is about. You're gonna describe it for people, and then you're gonna add tags. So you don't need a pound sign in front of these. They're not hashtags, they're actual tags. And if you're trying to think about what you should put in there, think about what you would type in doing a Google search to find this video. So would it be 10 trips near me or getaways near me, things like that, whatever you think people will be searching for. And that is all trial and error as well. Okay, and then next, once you've done that, you're gonna pick a thumbnail. So Facebook gives you 3 options. They auto-generate images from your video, and you can pick one. I would not encourage you to do that. Next, you can pick a custom image. So you can create actually a cover photo in a program like Canva or Photoshop. And that's actually the one I would encourage you to do. Do that, and then put some really clear font over top of the title of the video. And if you need help with that, please reach out and let me know, because I can also show you how to use Canva. Or you can choose a video frame. Now, this is probably your second best option. Basically, when you hit choose frame, it'll bring up the video, and you can use the scroll bar to pick exactly the frame of the video that you want to be the cover image. Now, generally, Facebook videos just start playing anyway, so people don't see these unless they're in your playlists. Still good to have them, though. Okay, and then next part, is the subtitles and captions. So I definitely encourage you to add subtitles to your video. We haven't always done it, but we're trying to kind of moving forward because it's more accessible for people, and also most people are listening to your videos without sound on Facebook. I know that's depressing when you've put together this beautiful video and people are listening to it without sound, but it's kind of just the way of the world right now. So what I tend to do out of these, now you don't have to do this. This is just what I do. I auto-generate the captions, and then they're usually not that good, but it kind of gives you a framework, and you can go in and edit them yourself rather than typing it all from scratch. Okay, I don't really worry about the polls or tracking for what I do, but you're welcome to take a look in there, of course. And then before you publish, you can decide whether you want to publish it right on the spot so people can see it right away. You can set a time for a premiere, so that will give like a little preview and then publish your video later. You can schedule it, you can backdate it, or you can save it as a draft. And then I always have my videos appear in people's news feeds. And then before you publish, just take a look at this. So the ones with the exclamation marks are the ones that need attention, obviously, because when I posted this, I didn't add tags or add it to a playlist, but you will because this was just me going through for this presentation. Facebook also gives us probably like the closest tip they ever give us to what their algorithm favors here. Videos at least 3 minutes long get shown to more people. So if you can make your video over 3 minutes, its organic reach will be higher. That being said, a 10-second video is better than no video in my books any day.
Hey, Trinkets fans,
Okay.
it's Carrie Ann downtown.
Hopefully everybody can hear that. I haven't played it yet, but I just want to talk about what kind of things you can think about doing in your videos that will make them good and help them work for you. So one kind of video that works really well is showing people how to use your product or service, or just talking about new product that's coming into your shop or business. So one place that does this really well is Trinkets Gift Shop in Tillsonburg. So go check out their Facebook page, but they have a bunch of different videos where she kind of tries on outfits, shows you how to wear them or style them, or just talks about them like she does in this video here. And you'll notice that it's not fancy. It's just somebody's holding a phone, videotaping her as she talks about it.
Hey, Trinkets fans, it's Carrie Ann downtown Tillsonburg. Gorgeous masks by Wraps Lifestyle Clothing. These are non-medical washable face masks, gorgeously fit to my face, nice scoop under the eyes, metal to wear on the nose for a perfect fit so my reading glasses won't steam up. Non-pull elastic behind the ears, fitted nice underneath my chin, and all for you for $15 a piece. These are made in Toronto, Canada. Gorgeous patterns for you to choose from. Great way to accessorize. We're going to be wearing them for a while, so you might as well make it fun. So again, these are $15 downtown Tillsonburg at Trinkets Gift Shop. We'll see you soon.
Awesome. So hopefully you guys got something out of that, but definitely go check out her Facebook page. I'm telling you to check out a lot of stuff, but I promise it's all valuable. Okay.
Hey everyone,
okay. The next one I want to show you is a good video has a consistent open and a close. And what this does is provide a framework for you so that if you are kind of nervous behind the camera, if you have that same opening and closing line every time, it just gives you something to kind of grab onto and anchor your video with, and without just diving in and kind of word vomiting, I guess is what I would call it. So I actually learned this trick from a girl named Melissa Schenk from MS2 Productions, and she is like basically the live video guru. So definitely if you want to take a video workshop, she's your girl. Go check her out. But I'll just show you what Melissa does to start every single video.
Hey everyone, it's Melissa Schenk from MS2 TV, inspiring you to be the best that you can be.
So she says, hey, it's Melissa Schenk from MS2 TV, inspiring you to be the best that you can be every single time. And what it does is it also helps create brand recognition. Okay, a good video allows your personality to shine and takes collaboration into account. So it's kind of two separate points, but as far as your personality shining, when I say your personality or your voice, I don't necessarily mean you as the business owner. So if you're not comfortable behind the camera, that's okay. Chances are somebody at your business is. So try and find somebody who is excited about doing something like this. One really great example, and I don't have it in these slides, I talked about it yesterday, was Tillsonburg Garden Gate. And they had one of the employees' sons, he's about 7, and he would do weekly updates from the garden center videos. He would talk about taking care of your plants and landscaping tips and things like that. And people loved it because he was such a little ham, and they really embraced his voice with those videos. So think about who might be a good storyteller at your business. And then the second point I have is that take collaboration into account. Who do you work with on a daily basis, or maybe even who is your competition? And can you guys partner up to do some video and take advantage of both audiences? So this is Cindy from Chocolate Tea in Ingersoll, rather. And she decided she was going to do a video series. Each video is about 3 minutes, and she was going to go out and talk to each of the producers that she uses in her chocolates. So she went to Upper Thames Brewing, talked to them. She talked to Lise from Blue Cow Delivery, Sherry from Turner's Farm Market. And what it does, it's kind of genius because you better believe, so for this video, for example, Chocolate Tea is doing the video, but she's tagging Upper Thames, and then Upper Thames will share the video, and then she has double the audience that she would have if she just posted to her own page a video by herself. So think about who are the people surrounding you that you could be talking to. Okay, I get this question all the time. What is the best time to post? And what I say is a good Facebook page is always just a series of trial and error. So the best time to post differs from business to business, and you can really dive into that Insights tab to figure out more. But a really great place to start is trying to post at 1 to 4 p.m. and seeing how it goes, because there's just more people online that time of day, according to Facebook. I think it's just that after lunch kind of slump and people are scrolling their phones. So try that to begin with, and then fool around with some other times and see what works best for you guys. I know for us, our page, it's 9 p.m. at night and like 6 a.m. in the morning before people go to work. Okay. So the Insights tab could probably be much like Facebook ads. It could be a workshop into itself, but I did want to point out how to get there and kind of 3 of the most useful tabs that I use within there. So the Insight tab, when you go to your Facebook page, down the left-hand side, there's a bar that looks like this, and you just hit Insights and it'll bring up another bar. And some of those you can kind of dive in to all these different topics, but my favorite is just the main page of your Insights. That'll tell you which of your posts perform best. And from there, you can kind of make decisions. Ask yourself, okay, when was it posted? Is it a video? What type of content is it? If it performed really well, why do I think that is? And then try to kind of recreate that again. Or if a post didn't do well, maybe you leave it to the wayside. The Posts tab allows you to see what time of day your post performed best. And then there's a tab called People, and that allows you to see your demographics. So their gender, their age, where they're from. It's a little bit creepy actually, but take a look in there, and maybe you're hitting a demographic you didn't realize you were, or maybe if there's the demographic you're not hitting but hope to, you can make some adjustments. Okay, I've got a few more things I want to try and get through before the end of the hour, and then we'll take some questions. So let's talk about content. So keep the conversation going, and I can't stress this enough. If you post something and it gets a ton of comments, but you don't comment back, you've missed a huge opportunity. And it's really probably the most important tip I can give you. So this one from Hemans, they posted about the rattlesnake prayer plant, and they posted some kind of like care tips and things about the plant. So you'll notice they actually position themselves as an expert in the field, but then they got a ton of questions and comments back, and you'll notice they went in and they comment, and hopefully those types of engagements are going to encourage people to support local and come out to their greenhouse, maybe rather than going to the one at the grocery store or wherever they may go. Okay. The best content has your voice. This was something I stressed a lot during the Instagram workshop, but it rings true for Facebook as well. Nobody has to say exactly what you have to say. Nobody knows your business like you. So tell your story and make your audience feel a part of something. This is a post from a local artist, Tabitha Verbist. She's the curator at the Station Arts Center in Tillsonburg, and she's got an exhibit on in Ingersoll. But she really kind of brought us into her world with this post. So it reads, 2 of my biggest supporters at the opening of the group exhibit I'm a part of, Women in Culture at the Ingersoll Creative Arts Center. And then she posted a photo of 2 of her little daughters coming to check out her show. So she really just brings you into that world, gives you those warm and fuzzies, and shows you what it's like to be a mom and an artist. Partnership. So I talked about this a lot with the video, but it goes for all posts. Partnership is always something to be encouraged. And I want to give a shout out to Habitual Chocolate in Woodstock, who is now selling chocolate tea, which these are 2 artisan chocolate makers in Oxford County. And naturally or traditionally, you would think they would be competition, but they've really embraced that spirit of co-opetition. And look at the comments on here. They're all so positive and people like it. So people want to see businesses lift each other up. And that's for every social platform. Okay, let's quickly talk about Facebook right now. So now more than ever, due to COVID, it's important to inform your customers and make them feel safe. So this is an example Berrylicious Fruit Farm put together as they were advancing towards the pick your own season. And basically it showed how berry picking was going to work for the 2020 harvest. They talk about their sanitizing, touchless doors, that you need to wear a mask, booking your appointment online. And then what I really love about it is they say, do your part. And they have a section about what they expect their clients to do as they visit, which is really nice because it puts the onus on both ends. They're going to do their part, but they expect something. They expect something from their visitors because their staff need to be protected as well, right? So think about how you might be able to implement something similar. And then take that a step further and show that expectation visually. So people, if you're doing a video in your shop and you're not wearing a mask, but you're in the shop alone, people don't know that. That type of content doesn't exist. So it's always just a best practice to wear a mask and maintain 6 feet of distance in photos and videos so that people feel safe and they know what to expect when they can come to your location. And then in addition to safety protocols, it's important to visually show them what you've done on the premises. So these aren't just your rules, but these are like, how do you clean? So not everyone's doing this, and I'm not saying this is 100% necessary, but I know for myself, seeing something like this post from 639, and they're showing how they steam their chairs and they have a list of all the things they've done, that makes me way more likely to go to a restaurant like that, where I know they're taking my health and safety seriously. So think about what at your business you could do like that, and then pin those posts to the top of your page. Okay. Another little note, and I apologize people who were here yesterday because this is a little bit repetitive, but particularly as we head into the holiday season, it's important to keep in mind that people won't be browsing the way they normally would. So use your Facebook posts to show products that you have in store, get them excited about it. Video tours of your shop are always a great idea. And then make it very clear what their options are. Can they do contactless pickup? Can they shop online? Can they shop in store? Just make that really clear so that people are able to plan ahead. Okay, once you've mastered stuff like that, we can always talk about Facebook Ads Manager and live video. But I encourage you to kind of master some of those things, get comfortable with them, and then visit those things. I just wanted to plant that seed. Okay, I'm going to open the chat now and I'll take your questions. We've got about 15 minutes.
So we've got a couple of questions in the chat.
Awesome. I'll open it up here. Okay, Jennifer, I will post the slides for the Instagram in a moment. I noticed your instant reply. Oh, okay, this is a question from Kim. I noticed your instant reply had a person's name. Does it do that automatically with your message? Yes, it does. Nice and easy, so it'll personalize it for you. What's the difference between tags and hashtags? Okay, so this is kind of complicated because they do work very similarly, like they're not that different. But basically, so a hashtag is a word with a pound sign in front of it. And people can click it and you'll see it on like normal posts. You don't see it as much on Facebook, and Facebook has been kind of unclear about whether you should use them or not. They have said in the past few months that they're trying to push them. So you might want to experiment with that. But basically, you can click that word that has the pound sign in front of it, and it'll bring up all the posts that have ever used that same pound sign. The tags are different on your videos. They work in the same way in that it's pulling information that people are searching using that tag, but you just don't need a pound sign in front of it when you're doing the video, weirdly enough. But then there's, that's confusing too, because there's also tags where you tag a business. So what you do to do that is you put the @ symbol and then the business name. So say you were trying to tag us, you would put @Tourism Oxford. People could click on that and it would bring them to our profile. I hope that was clear. May I have a copy of this video sent to me? I believe, Kim, you can send out a recording of this if people leave their email address in here. Why should your Facebook posts highlight product more so than Instagram? I would say more so than Instagram, in the sense that Instagram is not a platform where selling goes very well. Like, people don't like to be sold to on Instagram. It's not to say that you shouldn't show your product, but on Instagram, people are looking for more of a story. And it also doesn't give you as many options to drive to an online store. So when you post on Instagram about a product, if you put a link in that post, it can't be clicked on. Whereas on Facebook, it can. They make it really easy. Your link becomes clickable. It'll bring up a photo and people can click it and go right to your store. So I'm not saying don't highlight your product on Instagram. It's more just the fact that you're not selling. What about sound and videos? It seems they consistently change the rules with that. Any recommendations with this? So by that, I'm guessing you mean, should you have sound in videos? So yeah, we always have sound because there are people who will pull it up and watch it, but what you want to watch it with sound on, but most people are watching it without sound, which is where those captions become very important. Hopefully that answered your question, but let me know if it didn't. Yeah, is it smart to share Instagram posts from Facebook or vice versa? So I would say don't share Facebook posts to Instagram, but if you want to share Instagram posts to Facebook, that's okay. We generally don't tend to do it just because we're trying to keep two separate reasons for people to follow us. So if they can get everything that's on our Instagram on our Facebook page and vice versa, why would they follow both accounts, right? That being said, once in a while, I will post our Instagram to our Facebook if I feel it's a post that might go over really well. Do you guys want tips on how to connect the two accounts? Would that be helpful? I'm just going to tell you anyways. Okay, because I don't know. But basically, so from Facebook, you would go to profiles, then account, then linked account, and you would enter your login for Instagram. And then on Instagram, you have to go into your settings and link the login from Facebook. Then each time you post, you can turn on a tab that says share to Facebook, and it'll be uploaded to Facebook. You can also select to have that happen automatically. Music and videos. Okay, so the question about sound and music. So she said, I put licensed music and they refuse it almost every time. The videos end up muted. Thank you. I'm wondering, that's a really interesting question that I haven't. I always add music to our videos, and I usually get it from like a free source, like a website where the artist is offering it for free, and then you just have to credit them at the end. I've never had it muted like that. I have on my own page when I've tried to use like top 40 music, obviously, because I don't own it. But I'm just wondering if there's some confusion around the licensing. What I can suggest, one of the websites I use that I've never had a problem with is called Ben Sound. Just make sure you're crediting him afterwards at the end of the video or what have you.
Can you spell that for us in the chat, please?
Absolutely. Ben Sound. I think it's bensound.com. Still the same results, eh? Yeah, we're just having someone say they're having some issues that way. I'm not sure. It might be even a matter of I have had posts where they'll mute it or take it down or won't show it to people, and I've had to like fight the case. There's usually a button that says fight the case or something like that, and it takes a few hours, but Facebook generally does get it back up. I apologize. I haven't really had any issues. Does LinkedIn tie to Facebook? You can connect the two accounts. Yep. But I don't generally cross post. But that's also the nature of Tourism Oxford. Like, we keep our industry end very separate from the public facing end. But if you run something like an accounting firm or a professional kind of business like that, you might consider cross-posting. YouTube Auto Library is also a great resource for free background style music. That's a great suggestion, Jessica. Thank you. Can you have just a business account but not linked to a personal account? I wish. No, your business page does need to have a personal page for the admin tied behind it. And what I've done is created basically just a fake account for my work one to do that. And it's, knock on wood, worked okay for me so far, but there have been cases where people get shut out of that account, which can be problematic if you're the only admin. So yeah, unfortunately, no, it has to be linked to a personal account. Yeah, I think we've hit all the questions there. Yeah. Do you see any others that I'm not seeing, Kim?
I don't see any that you have missed.
Okay.
Somebody put your hand up or unmute yourself if there's something we've missed that we can't see.
I'm going to pop the link. So this is for today's workshop, and I'll grab the link right now for yesterday's workshop. There we go. Just pulling it up. And if you go to our resources page on oxfordcounty.ca, which is our industry page, you will be able to actually find quite a few really great resources. Instagram 101. So I will drop this in here. Oops. Someone did just ask, how would you suggest gaining followers on your Facebook page? So I am a large proponent of it's better to have a small following who really like your brand and are invested in your brand over a large following that don't really give a hoot about what you do or what you post. So don't focus too much on followers. That being said, if you're just starting up, go and comment on other businesses, support local businesses, see if you can collaborate on something, do a partnership, because those are the things that are gonna help people see your brand as a valuable part of the community, and hopefully they will come and follow you. And I think, yep, ask people to share your Laura suggested, ask people to share your posts. It helps me, absolutely. I've seen people do a lot of contesting. I don't normally recommend doing a lot of contests or giving away a lot of product, but it can help you kind of get the ball rolling if you don't have anybody on your page. Absolutely. I did want to mention that you can get in touch with me anytime. I'm always happy to set up a one-on-one call. You can follow me on LinkedIn, but reach out to me because we can always chat about your specific Facebook page or Instagram or what have you, and see what we can do to kind of build your engagement and things like that. And before I leave, Kim, I'm just going to plug the Spark Mentorship Program really quickly. Awesome. So the Spark Mentorship Program is coming to Oxford County. It's the Ontario Tourism Innovation Lab. So that's out of Windsor. And they've done this program a couple times, but we're really excited because it's coming to Oxford County. So if you have a new tourism idea, what you do is basically pitch your idea to the committee, sort of like Dragon's Den. And then there's grant money up for grabs and mentorship as well. So we're hosting a couple info sessions on that, October 27th and November 2nd. And the links are right in this slide. So you can, visit the slide, and then I can even post them in the chat. Yeah, so I hope there's some good ideas, some new ideas out there. That's all for me, I think. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you very much for doing this for us 2 days in a row. This was absolutely wonderful. But maybe sometime in the future we'll do Instagram 102 and we'll do Facebook 102.
Anytime.
because there's been a lot of interest in it and a lot of great information. I am definitely going back and adding my COVID-19 protocols to the chamber.
Oh,
Facebook.
good. Good. That's a great
haven't done
idea.
that. So thanks so much, Gabby, for doing this, and thank you all for attending. If I miss sending you the actual Zoom meeting, please don't hesitate to reach out to me, gm@woodstockchamber.ca. I think I've got the list of everybody, and I tried to copy the chat box. So thanks very much, and have a great afternoon.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.